What's up, guys? We are here today and I'm back at the shop working on a Thursday morning, and I got a special guest with me today. This is Wally. So Wally, what's up, man?
Well,
he's brought his Corvette with something special in. So give us a quick rundown on what this car is.
the car is a 80 Corvette, everything new. The block all the way is all new. 434 cubic inch AFR heads, 671 blower, large bore. Got a bug catcher on it, and we're shooting EFI on right above the blower. So, and I've had it together since 2015. I think we started on the engine stand, and I've never liked any tune that's been put in it. It just didn't run right, so I never really drove it much. I just turned it over here and there, but now it's time to get it going. I need to come here to get it going because I know here is going to get it going right. So.
Yeah, so normally we don't do this kind of project, but just feeling ambitious, so I said, shoot, just bring it over. What we're gonna do, the game plan is, he has a weird distributor that we don't ever use, so we're converting it over to MSD7AL box, the HVC2 coil, and we're just gonna have Holly run it through there. Should just be a super simple setup. I got the parts on the way from FedEx. We've been already working on it this morning, getting ready to swap stuff over, and the goal is just to get it running, make some pulls on it, and see if we can make any power. Lord willing, we'll get there. I don't know. There could be some issues, but we'll see. I can't believe we're driving this thing. All right, so we started tearing into this thing, pulled that distributor out, pulled the spark plugs out. Spark plugs are really nasty, so we're replacing them. That was the first issue. Now we gotta figure out what I want to do with this for the Holly, or if we're just going to run it locked out, have one just use the MSD box, not use the Holly to control timing, which is probably the easiest way to do it. So we're just going to wait until the parts get here and we'll figure out what we're going to do for everything. But that's where we're at on it right now. Upgrading, because it's had V4 in it, I'm upgrading it to V6, upgrading the firmware, upgrading the tune, just going through everything, making sure everything is good. The tune that actually was in it wasn't too bad. It doesn't really need too much work, but we're gonna keep going through things. I want to test these injectors, test everything, make sure all the outputs are working correctly. Other than that, we're just waiting on the dang FedEx truck to get here with the parts so we can put the distributor and the MSD box in it and start to get to work on this thing. All right, so I'm standing here with Wally. He got us his laptop. So one of the things I like to do when customers come in, all customers that I'm tuning on, like if they have a laptop and they are going to be working on stuff themselves, then I want to have the program set up in their laptop with the tunes and walk them through just the basics of how things are changed. So that's what I'm doing right now. I'm going to go ahead and hop on Holly's website and download V6 and show them the ropes real quick. All right, so there's been a scheduling conflict. I completely forgot that we had another hub dyno that was supposed to come in, and I forgot to write it on the calendar. I only wrote Wally's on the calendar. So we're working double time today. It's a double day, yeah. So we got his stuff that is not even running yet. This is not even running yet, but it's supposed to just need a tune. And I looked at everything, and it looks like it should be pretty straightforward. Hopefully we can get this stuff done, man. I don't know.
Calendar system over there.
I know. We really need to work on our scheduling. It sucks. Okay, so I'll give you guys a quick rundown on that. Go. Come on. All right, guys. This is Jason. What up, man? You brought us the car. Give us a quick rundown on exactly what everything is.
It's a 94 Z28 Camaro. It was a Dallas Motorsports car. They used to rent this car on the track for normal people to drive it. It's the stock engine still, but it's punched 40 over. It's got good bearings. It's all balanced. Forged pistons, H-beam rods, good headwork. It's just a normal car. It should be about 500 horsepower. It's got a new transmission. It's got the stock rear end.
Yeah, I see you got like in there for the cage. I noticed you got like a road race style cage. Yeah. You got the hydraulic handbrake hiding in there.
Yeah, it's an all-around car. It's not really a drag car. It's not a road course car. It's a whatever you want to go play with car.
And what transmission is in it?
It's got the 4L60E.
406.
It's got a brand new monster transmission.
Okay.
And it's got a 2000 stall converter. A buddy that worked for Amco in Austin, Texas built it. They cut it apart. I don't know what they did to it. It says High Street on it.
Okay.
And at 1900 RPMs, that sucker works. It starts to work.
All right.
So the handbrake, I don't know if you've ever, it's kind of difficult to get a hand, that's a pass through. So you have to turn the brakes off for the back of the car to use it.
Oh.
So this valve right here, it turns the brakes off. Well, now they're on all four. So when you want to play, just turn it off. Make sure your foot's not on the pedal, because that's like, it'll be your e-brake. So like if it's on right now, push the brake pedal, close the valve.
Okay, yeah.
You have e-brake.
Just a pass through, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then everything in here is like, you know, pretty budget. Like the seats were $30.
This is a good like
You know, it's,
bomber type, just freaking
yeah.
take this thing out and beat on it, do some donuts.
I mean, I probably got 60 grand into it. And then the floor in these cars is not flat. So I cut the whole floor out. There's actually 1 3/4 tube under there.
Okay.
It's made so that the next step of the chassis work would be the tunnel tube and then the firewall.
Oh, I got my car.
And then whatever in the rear. We were thinking about putting a package rear end in the back for rear independent suspension.
Yeah.
And then if you didn't do that, maybe a wishbone, not a wishbone, but a Watts wing. You know what I mean?
Yes, yeah, Watts thing would be ideal too.
Yeah. So,
Yeah, so all right, man, we're gonna I'll get my laptop and we'll start working on this thing, because Wally over there is waiting for parts for the Corvette. So I got a little bit of downtime right now that I can quickly work on this tune and try to get this thing fired up and start it, getting the ball rolling, the process on it, so we can get both of these cars done. Got in here, to the ECU, is looking at things. He just got the base startup, like the startup wizard tune in it, which is no problem. He said that it would burble a little bit and would just run really rich, so we kind of just threw that one out, and I have a base tune already in here that should be close. I've actually never tuned, I don't think at least, an LT small block like this, like a later gen small block, but it should be pretty straightforward. He says it's a LS crank sensor, LS cam sensor, like the 24X and the 1X, so that makes it pretty simple. And it's just Excel 32 pound-an-hour injectors, coil on plug, all that stuff is pretty easy. So we're getting to the point now where I think I'm actually going to try and fire this thing up. So if we can get this thing fired up on the first or second try, I'll be happy, because that means that we're making some kind of progress. Still
hasn't been much of.
There has not been much of today. The only progress we made is I took that distributor out of that small block over there. We're just waiting on FedEx parts for that right now. So the FedEx truck should be here anything. But I'm gonna go ahead and wrap some stuff up on this tune. We're gonna try and fire this. All right, so trying to get this thing running, and we don't know what it's got for, I guess we don't know what it's got for crank sensor, cam sensor, so I'm kind of just guessing at it because it's impossible to see inside of that thing. So I'm just kind of troubleshooting right now with the tune, trying to get it to do something, work with me. Oh, that seemed to work, kind of.
A little bit of a flame coming out.
Get it right. It does run.
But that is nice.
Actually, I was pleasantly surprised that fixed it.
What'd you do?
I just told it to ignore the cam sensor because I was Google searching online, and I guess when a lot of people do the Holly swaps on these LT engines, I don't know anything about the OptiSpark stuff or the coil, OptiSpark to coil conversions, but I guess you just needed to ignore the cam sync. So it's just running bank to bank. Apparently this thing has some kind of little noise issue because when it's running and I'm trying to change things on the tunes, it won't let me open some things and the button won't work. But shut the car off, and then all of a sudden it does what I clicked on. Kind of irritating.
I think I put like,
Shoots flames.
I can
Yeah.
run down and buy
Did you get your leg?
Burn my leg hair off.
I heard it go.
flames out. If you tune it right, we can blow flames.
Yeah, it blew,
If I tune it right, it'll blow flames.
it blew a flame out this time.
Yeah. You heard it here first. If I tune it right, it'll make flames.
Don't get it.
All right, we've got cars switched around now. Since this thing is actually came up and running and it's actually running pretty good right now. It just needs a couple little tweaks. Decided to put this thing on the hub dyno first, push that thing over there until parts get on the FedEx truck for it. Then we're gonna put the ignition system in that and swap places. So, absolute craziness. Fingers crossed that we don't run into any more issues. Starting to run it. It's got a little lean spot, needs some fuel table corrections. No big deal. So just going over a quick data log just from driving, revving up, making sure everything's all good, and then we're ready to make some pulls on this thing, try to get this thing done. All right, so notice there, and I was looking over the data log, it was getting into a lean spot because it's dropping fuel pressure like crazy. So I look back there and I happen to see that he's got one of those foam mats in the bottom of the tank, and I'm not so sure the structural integrity of it because I can run my finger over it and it's not good. So I'm having him pull it out of there right now. I got a box cutter, I got this. And then if this doesn't fix it, then I'm gonna assume that there's probably filter contamination. There is. All right, so I had Jason hop back there, drain the fuel cell, take a look at the filter. Sure enough, the filter was clogged right up. So we fixed that issue. We've got it back running now, and I think now we can actually make a pull on this thing. So let's fire this thing up.
You'll want to get it in high gear, so get high gear at like 75. You leave the first two gears up there, so if you go back to, so get it into third gear, it will not go into fourth gear in wide open throttle. Okay, so if you go, or you can put it so it's like 200 mile an hour. In the 3-4 gear change would be like 200 mile an hour. Third, fourth, okay. All right, so go back to the 2-3. Let's see that one real quick. Okay, that's fine. So when it's in third gear, so go back to, so third into second, the downshift. So make that, let's see, so that would have to be lower. So you've already exceeded it, you follow? It downshifted because your throttle position went past it. It was only going like 30 mile an hour, 40 mile an hour when you whacked it.
Gotcha.
You follow?
For the
The downshift.
32 shift.
So you turn the downshift so low that it's already past it. So make that like 20. Okay. And then just make sure your speed and throttle position up. Okay. Now save this as a dyno tune so you can go back to it later. Alright, so that should get you, as soon as it's in high gear, third gear, it's not going to shift in fourth. It's only going to go in high, and then you should just be able to rev it up and then roll into it hard, and it won't downshift because it's below the parameter. Got it?
Got it. Got it. Try number 2, let's go. All right, so you guys saw we made like freaking 5 dyno pulls with that thing, with the dyno not sweeping correctly. So finally figured out the setting that we missed and got the car sweeping right. And on the very first full pull, we made 304 horsepower.
Ooh, buddy.
Shoe buddy, tire annihilator. So I just had Jason pull a plug out of it. We're gonna put a couple more degrees and see if it picks up. Maybe we'll get like 315, 320, another 10 horsepower, 15 horsepower would be plenty in this thing. I would be happy with that with a couple degrees. And then just make sure drivability is all good. Go look at all my transmission settings, make sure that it's going to shift correctly for him. And I'm going to have him drive it on the street just to make sure that everything is all good. It shifts how he wants it. It runs how he wants it. It's running really good right now when I've been just driving around the dyno. It seems fine. So we're going to put a couple more degrees in it, make another pull.
How much timing is that?
2 degrees.
No, but total.
30.
Go up to 38. You can run this engine all the way to 42.
No, we're not going to run it
No,
that far
I've
out
got
there,
a
dude.
picture of it on the scanner with 42 degrees of timing in it.
On the scanner, on the
LT.
stock engine.
This is stock.
This is not a stock engine, my guy. This is aftermarket stuff. You said it was like 12-to-1 compression.
It'll take more.
All right, pull a spark plug out and check it real quick.
You don't have to do anything.
Oh, I got you. Just check the spark plug. We'll see what it looks like. I don't know. Maybe we'll end up with 38 degrees in it. Maybe it's not 12-to-1 compression. Unless the dyno wigged out. It looks like a clean 400.
It made it on the shift.
Oh, no, it shifted. That's why.
Oh, okay.
It spiked on the shift.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah. So there really isn't.
You are giving me woodies and stuff.
It picked up 10 horsepowers
With 2 degrees of timing.
with 2 degrees of timing.
This
thing is
That's
a-
wild.
314 horsepower. It's an animal. It's like Dewey.
What's the least amount of horsepower that you've tuned?
You're looking at it.
I know I'm the first to something here at Steve.
You're the first. Shoot, what did Don Len's P6 make?
Oh, come on.
Around there.
Around there. Now you're really.
No, it's a drag race version. It's 350. I think it made 350 or something.
All right, so we got our parts in for Wally's Corvette over here. We've got our MSD box, our Pro Billet distributor, our HVC2 coil. We've got our box somewhat in there where it's going to be for now until he gets it back home, and then he can mount it wherever he wants. So what we need to do, Wally, you're asking about those wires.
There's the plug-in.
Here's the plug. Now we could just run this wire right where we ran the other ones. Put that in there. This one should be plenty long enough though. So just run it right through that same hole in the firewall that you had that one.
Okay, let me see what I got here.
There you go. Picked up some steam. What does it say? 340 something? What did it say up there?
It says 314, but that's
No, that's the last roll.
346.
346 horsepower. I'm sure Jason's happy with that. Jason. 346 horsepower. What do you think, man?
I think that's good. It's gonna move.
It's gonna move.
It's gonna go.
It's gonna be really safe there. There's still some room to go on the plug, so you should be able to take this thing out and beat on it and not have to worry about anything.
Yeah, that's all we want to do.
So the next operation that we're gonna do now is we're gonna take this thing off the hub dyno, And I want you to just take it for a quick drive around the corner. Just
Okay.
make sure it drives how you want it, and
Okay.
then we can wrap everything up.
Okay, cool.
He's rolling.
Not quite as beautiful as this.
I know. Look at that butte. Up on jack stands and everything. He's out there doing donuts. He's doing
Donuts.
doing donuts.
And the cops will be on the way.
Yep. Sounds pretty good. How's it doing?
Here, go do a donut.
Huh?
Go to
Do a donut?
It's too much fucking fun. You don't have to do it very hard. It's just real easy. I don't know how hot it is. I don't know how to read this thing. So I was worried about it. I think you've done a great job. This car is it's not a top fuel dragster. It's just a little car. It's fun to drive. Ooh, that would get your heart pumping.
Yeah.
All right, Jason has been kind enough, thank you, Jason, to let me do a donut in his car. And say he said he was happy with me tuning it, so we're gonna oblige him kindly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, I tried to use the handbrake, but the handbrake didn't go off.
I'm not sure exactly what to do about that. The handbrake, it's still without the brakes completely, that valve off, it still pushes back pressure to
Right.
to the front brakes.
Yeah, because I tried to
Yeah,
grab
you
it as
could
I came
feel
up
it.
to try and like J-turn it, and it didn't
Yeah.
do anything. So
And them tires, they don't let it really lock up. So the next step with the handbrake will be another set of calipers on the back, and then I have another handbrake that actually has a reservoir that you put fluid in.
all right, man.
Cool.
So what do you think? Overall, good day?
I love it. I've
Heck
had a
yeah,
blast
buddy.
Today. Kyle
All right,
Morris
man.
is a great guy. If you got a car and you need some help with it, I think you should give him a call and maybe get it over here and let him take care of it for you.
Thanks, man. Appreciate the business as always. We gotta get in there and do Wally's now.
Yeah, I want to help with that if you don't mind.
Yeah.
I mean,
All right, so we got Wally's car up and running, kind of. Fires up and goes vroom and then dies. So I'm working my way through that, trying to get it to a position where it can at least idle for a little bit so I can work on the fuel map. I'm sure it just needs some tweaking. So it does fire up and go vroom and blow fire out of the pipes. So let's try it again. I just gave it a little more throttle position.
It does in fact start, go vroom.
It does go
Shut
vroom and thinks about idling, kind of. I took a quick data log. I was able to snip the button really quick, so let's see what it's doing before I keep messing around. I don't want to foul the plugs out of it or do any of that crap, so.
Bring on the thunder.
Keep going. Something tells me that's not right. There's no way that's right. just says 70 degrees. Obviously, it's not running on 70 degrees of timing. I already turned the distributor freaking quarter turn. I guess I need to verify that the marks are right on the balancer. So let's pull that number 1 spark plug out, and then we'll stick a screwdriver in there and make sure TDC is where it's supposed to be. Like it's on the right side of the balancer. Not. Yes, it's 68 degrees. There, it's at 40 degrees.
So you're getting closer. Okay, so this has advance in the distributor column. Has mechanical advance in it.
Yeah, with the spring.
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead.
What were you saying? I can't hear you. What you said?
The center thing is the only thing that's got, I got blocks inside the bug catcher.
Okay.
I got plates of steel blocking off the 2 sides.
Sounds good. I'm saying.
Now we can probably turn the throttle down. Yep. We got this thing running like you guys just saw, idling, revs up nice, fine. But this thing has got 1 set of top injectors on top of a non-intercooled blower. So it has to burn a lot of fuel, or it will evaporate a lot of fuel inside of that blower, and it's only got 55-pound injectors in it. So unfortunately, I don't know that we're gonna be able to get a full pull out of this, but he's here. I'm already committed. We're gonna put it on this freaking hub dyno, and I'm gonna try and make a pull on it and see what it does, and just prove it out that it's just needs different injectors.
What size do you think it needs?
Probably needs at least 120s. 120 is the word. So at least twice as much injector. But we're just gonna get this thing turned around. We're gonna put it on the hub dyno. I'll make at least a partial conservative pull just to show him, hey, this is what it's doing. This is what it does when it doesn't have enough injector and it needs more injector. So should be pretty short.
Not gonna lie to you, that ran better than I thought it was gonna run.
Thank you. Thank you.
I don't think Kyle was expecting that either. So we got a bunch of fuel through here in the beginning.
Exactly.
Why it blows smoke, and then right up here where that would be, you know, pretty close to 600 at the.
Yeah, ripping. Yeah.
Yep. And it starts going lean because it doesn't have enough injector in it, and that's
why I never drove it. I could feel that. You know, it was like drag racing, like a car laying over. And I was like, man, something ain't right with this thing.
It does not have enough injector on it.
And that's all brand new. I didn't want to burn it up. So I've never drove it.
Yeah, so here's the good news though, right, Wally? This thing is running, driving, it starts up, it idles.
Yeah.
So
we get the bigger injector in it.
we get the bigger injector in it.
Well, I got a lot of work. I got to mount all this. I got to do all, you know, do all the touch-up work. And then I got to order them up. You know they're going to whack me hard again.
Just send that back to him. Tell him he probably needs like
120, you said?
We can make it work with any injector that's bigger than that, so that's fine. 80,
Well, 120?
80s are probably the smallest you want to go.
I'd say go probably 120s.
It's still short. It's still running out because it's got 100% compensation, so it's not happy.
Well, look at it this way.
And
I
going
took
lean.
it to somebody to have it dynoed. They gave it to me back like this, with injectors that are how small?
Two.
Way too small.
See, that's pretty good. See?
Too small.
How small? Two.
So why do I come to Morse Engines
How
to
big?
find out
Find out.
what it really needs?
Yeah, that's right.
That's why I come here. When I call you guys and say, hey, I would like my car dynoed, the car's supposed to be ready to be dynoed, not, you know, thrown up on the lift and worked on or whatever, you know. It's like, so I appreciate all of it, man. I mean, you got me straightened out with, you know, getting that ignition straightened out.
Yeah.
Which is great.
That's gonna solve a lot of the issues that you're having.
And then I knew something wasn't right. That's why, because when I take it out, it felt like a car laying over, you know, and I was like, man, something ain't right.
Yep, lean.
And sure enough, I knew it. I knew somebody was going to finally be honest with me and say, hey, yeah, it's pretty, but man, it's messed up. And it is. It needs bigger injectors.
It's pretty messed up.
It's pretty messed up.
All right, man. Well, let's get this thing off of the hub dyno, and then you can drive it out to the truck and trailer, or drive it, do whatever you want.
We'll put it right in the trailer. Let's get home. It's late.
All right, guys, we're done for the day. We're well after hours. Appreciate Nate sticking around to film. Appreciate Wally's patience with me and with everybody. It's been a very stressful day trying to get things done and ironed out, especially with this thing and with the Camaro and all that. So. But everybody's happy, so what else could you ask for? I mean, we met all of his expectations. Same thing with the Camaro. We met all of his expectations. He was happy. So everybody's happy. That's all that matters in the end. So I'm Kyle Morris. Thanks for coming to watch my channel. Leave a comment, like, make sure you guys are subscribed. I know like a lot of you guys are watching. You're not all subscribed because I've been getting more views than I have subscribers. So just saying. Thanks.